Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, just like always, we're going to break down some accidents from the construction and mining industry around the world, along with some incredible moments from our own mine. We're trying to give you a clear picture of what really happens when safety protocols aren't followed, and how to avoid situations like this in the future. Alright, this happened in Yalova, Turkey. Two trucks were sitting on a barge. One of them had its outrigger pads extended, which means they were probably working on something. And then a storm hit. You can see the truck getting stuck between the barge and a concrete wall. And it almost looks like the barge turns into some kind of industrial machine, smashing the truck over and over again, until it finally goes over and drops into the water. Man, pretty wild. This happened in China. You can see the water washed away the ground under the excavator. And this is the result. By the time the water pulls back, the excavator will already be buried a few meters deep in mud and sludge, which is going to make recovery a lot harder. Alright, now you're about to see something different, something incredible. The view of dumping you've probably never seen before, and it looks awesome. Let's check it out. Allow me to describe this thing a little better. You get the feeling like the whole building is rising above your head. The entire 260-ton load gets dumped in just a few seconds. And the lowering of the body, boy, that's something special. Now imagine a whole building slowly coming down over your head. That's the kind of feeling you get, like a sudden eclipse. You really have to be here to experience it. It hits you like kind of a rush of adrenaline. When you think about it, who even needs the front two wheels when you've got 10 more on the rest of the truck? Now, I've shown this a few times already, the danger of the blind spot. In this footage, you can clearly see how bad it can get when you end up in that dangerous position. This Volvo loader shows it perfectly, and trust me, that ain't a small machine. You'll see later just how big it really is. The truck driver didn't even realize he was climbing up onto the loader. A bigger disaster was avoided only because other drivers told him over the radio. And this is how it looks up close. You can see the damage ain't that serious. Just the plastic cover, the mesh grille, and the headlights. Everything else looks fine. The AC lines and the radiator are untouched, which is good. But honestly, the biggest damage here is the stress and shock the loader operator went through. So always keep an eye on those blind spots. They can get you in trouble real quick. This is what happens when recovery ain't done right. Like the damage wasn't already bad enough. Almost the same thing here. Bad load distribution, and a disaster is pretty much inevitable. Well, they ain't Niagara Falls, but they're just as spectacular. Especially when you're standing at the bottom right next to them. My whole cab got soaked, but man, the view was amazing. Now, this is something every truck driver fears. A serious crash, and the cab catches fire instantly. And what's even worse, the SUV driver didn't even stop to help, just kept on driving like nothing happened. The first steps of a real excavator operator. Looks like from Monday, school's over for him, that's for sure. Foundation digging is waiting for him. The passenger was like, is it safe to pass him? And the driver was like, nah, let's just wait till he gets completely stuck in the mud. It's way safer that way. I don't think the brakes were the problem here. You can hear the tires squealing. And in the end, he did manage to stop after all. Looks to me like this guy was going way too fast. Probably got distracted by looking at his phone and didn't react in time for that turn. If the previous one was caused by speeding, then this one is definitely about staring at the phone. Bro was so locked in on it, he didn't even want to drop it, even when he realized he fucked up. And in the end, the guy was like, "Ayo, bro, I'm just gonna take a little nap, right?" Alright, I posted this video earlier. Basically, they sent me to clear this mud that built up in the middle of the road. I told them straight up, this is a job for a dozer or a loader. But since those machines were already busy, I had to deal with this mess myself. I honestly didn't even know how I was going to pull it off. But hey, I gave it a shot. And right at that moment, something unexpected happened. At first, I got kind of freaked out. I was like, what the? I knew there was no vehicle anywhere nearby, so I was wondering what that could be. And then I realized the front tire just blew out on its own. The grader had been sitting still for almost 2 minutes, and then out of nowhere, boom! Most likely had rolled over a sharp rock earlier, and under all that weight, the tire just couldn't take it anymore. So in the end, yeah, it's gonna have to be a loader or a dozer to handle this mess. And me? Well, I'm heading back to the shop nice and slow, so the mechanics can put a new tire on. That right there was my landmine. The reason I'm heading back to the shop instead of dealing with this mud. Here you can see the tire is completely torn open on the side. And if you want to see how the tire replacement went, you can check out the full video up in the top right corner. Trust me, it's pretty interesting. And this happened literally the very next day. Just this time, it was the rear right tire that got punctured. Either way, looks like I gotta go back to the shop again. Now in this footage, you can see a lot of things being done the wrong way. First of all, never stand under a load like this guy is doing. Second thing, you can clearly see the load isn't balanced right. It's leaning to one side. And just like that, it can easily shift or slide off. And that's when things go bad real quick. And the third thing, and probably the most important, always secure the load properly if you don't want something like this happening to you. This guy got lucky. Those were wooden panels. If it was concrete or steel, this could have ended way worse. All right, a large boulder fell off a truck right where we need to pass. Now, most of you would be waiting for a machine to come and remove it. But when you've got an experienced driver, things go a lot easier. So we're gonna go around it. The driver figured he can squeeze past it. Now, let's see how this goes. And just like that, nice and easy. Now what you're watching right now is part of a video I've been working on. Basically, the mine expanded so much that these old houses, some over 100 years old, are now about to get buried. Later on, we're gonna head down there and check them out, more specifically that one right there. But before that, let's have a little fun. All right, one more dump and we're heading down there. And here we are down there. Now, I know most of you are going to be like, man, are you crazy? You went down there while trucks are dumping from above. You're going to get yourself killed. Don't worry, guys. I went down there the next day during the shift change when the trucks weren't running. I walked around this house and went inside, and honestly, it felt like someone just broke in the middle of the night and took the residents away. Later in the video, you'll see a bit of that. And in a few days, I should be dropping a full video about this. And here's that giant boulder we saw from above, the one that slammed into the house. Later on, we're going to go inside that room and see what kind of condition it's in. Just incredible. You can check all of this out up in the top right corner. Of course, if you're watching on a computer. And this right here, this is something every excavator operator fears. All right, this happened in a stone quarry in Alwar, India. The excavator was working up on the slope, doing normal digging, and then suddenly the whole hill started giving way. The ground cracked, rocks started sliding, and the machine lost stability. The operator realized something was wrong and tried to get out. He even opened the door and tried to jump out, but it all happened too fast. The poor guy didn't stand a chance. The excavator went down first, and right after that, a massive amount of rock and debris came crashing down, like it wasn't enough that he fell with the machine. The machine ended up deep in a water-filled pit, around 200 feet down, surrounded by steep rock walls. Rescue teams, divers, and heavy equipment were brought in, and after a huge effort, they managed to pull the excavator out. But the biggest problem was the debris. Huge rocks everywhere, some weighing several tons, making it extremely difficult to find the operator. They searched multiple times, diving into cold, deep water, but there was no clear sign. Most likely, he ended up buried under all that material when the slope collapsed. Man, just take a look at the excavator and the condition it was in when they pulled it out. After several days of heavy searching, the operator was finally recovered by another excavator, buried under tons of debris. This is what happens when things are done illegally, when safety protocols aren't followed, when blasting and digging aren't done the right way. 1 second you're working, next second, you're gone. Well, guys, with this terrible example, we're wrapping up today's video. If you like what we do, it would mean a lot if you hit that like button and subscribe for more stuff like this. Until next time, stay safe out there.